62% of home service businesses fail with Facebook ads, according to Neil Patel. And we've made more than our fair share of mistakes with running ads. I want to share some of the biggest mistakes we've learned and helped fix throughout us generating over 7 figures with Facebook ads. And keep watching for the fourth tip, because it's a tip where we recently implemented this and it virtually blew up an account, 4x'd their profit off of the account virtually overnight. Just one quick fix. And you got to keep in mind, Facebook has changed a lot over the last couple of years. And because of that, the rules of the game have changed as well. And if you don't know how to play the rules, you're not going to win the game. Think of it like this. A few years back, you used to have to only pay for Netflix, right? And you could get everything under the sun. But as studios like NBC, Amazon, Fox, CBS, they realized they could generate things like these too. Competitors like Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, Peacock, they all came up. And now you have to pay for more than one thing to access every piece of content you want. This kind of shift happened in Facebook ads, and if you didn't adapt, you were left behind. So you can either stick with the old rules, or again, you can accept losing if you want to do that. But again, these strategies work if you're spending like $30 per day or $3K per day to help make you profit. So let's get into it. The first one you want to keep the lead on Facebook, right? And it's common to just see, have a quick swipe up to your website, right? And yes, this can work if your website and if the video or the text is extremely optimized. But if you are just going to do a survey on your website, keep them on Facebook at that point. And the reason why you want to do this is because you want a high return on spend, right? And if you pay more for the exact same person, that's generally a bad thing. Lead forms keep the people inside of the app on Facebook, and according to DriftRock, it lowers the cost per lead down by 50% on average, right? And you got to think of this from Meta's perspective too. If someone swipes up to the website, they might not come back to Facebook. They might not make money for Facebook, right? And because of that, Meta is going to make their solution better so that we use it. The one problem though that we would generally see is quality of the lead forms. And this plays right into the second point, which is catering the buying process for your ideal buyers, right? You don't necessarily have to do a million qualifying questions, but if you keep the process congruent and get the bare minimums throughout the entire ad process, from first touch to giving info to phone call to estimating to closing, if you do estimating, you are going to win more deals, right? And how do you do this? You want to speak their language. You truly want to understand where they're coming from, the problems they want to fix, the desires they want, and what they need to get over the line, right? And sure, they'll convert when you do this, but how much more? Invoca says 47% of people are more likely to do business with a personalized process. You could cut your acquisition costs down in half by doing stuff like this. And it's pretty simple to start. Facebook works with you. The ads, you don't have to do anything too complex, right? You need to put everything to call out the ideal people inside of the ad, right? You put it inside the copy, you put it inside the video, you put it inside the photo, you put it inside the landing page after they give you their info, and Facebook caters the ad to the people most likely to buy right away. That's what I mean by their AI, and their targeting has gotten a lot better, right? So what I would do to first understand their desires, goals, and pain points is, if you have recorded calls or just market research, upload them to ChatGPT, and you can filter them by close, no close, dream client, deal size, things like that. And then ask GPT to give you a buyer's persona or buying multiple buyer personas. And make sure you understand what questions they're going to ask, because that will come into play later, right? And now you want to create your ads around these findings, right? They might pick you, they might go with you because speed is the only thing they're looking for. They might go with you because they have the perception of a good deal. They might go with you because you're the best quality option, right? You want to see what converts into the most cash by creating these ads, deploying them, and then testing them, right? And the goal with this is creating qualified buyers who then have interest. And when you do this right, you will create lay down closes. And you also want to make sure you tell Facebook which leads are your good closes or your lay down closes. And you can use Conversions API and integrate your CRM to that. And the third thing you want to do, you want to prioritize doing videos over photos, and you actually want to prioritize doing more and better videos. The reason why is because with video ads, they're vertical, right? So if someone is scrolling on their phone, which most people are, here's what's going to happen. They're going to have to swipe maybe 2 times to get rid of your ad. Plus, if you successfully engage them with sound, because, Meta is now a video platform, they're more likely to stop the scroll and become indoctrinated with you, right? And they might not click and buy off of the first time they see you, but as they keep seeing you, they'll realize, oh, okay, maybe we need this and we should look into this. Maybe we should do our research, right? And the research part comes later, but if you cover the pains, the desires, the end outcomes, and why you over everyone else, great, you're gonna win. And when I say you over everyone else, that can mean saying stuff like 2 for 1, that could mean free consults, that could mean leading with quality, satisfaction guarantee, social proof, things like that show why they should pick you versus anyone else in the market, right? And then what you want to do in the ad is you want to kind of cover who you want working with you, right? If you are a pool contractor, right? And you want to only install like ponds, right? Like luxury ponds that are like $50 to $80K. You could target people who are looking to add a pond for your luxurious backyard, something like that, so they're aware. You can do it subtly. You can even do something where it's like our minimum project size starts at 10K, right? You can be blatantly clear like that. And then once you do that, you want to cover the next steps that they should take. You need to tell them what to do next. And the way we look at scaling ads, once you have a good video, is to do the following. You need to do more videos, do higher quality videos, and then scale up the budget, right? As you scale up the budget, you're going to have to do more videos because you can then target more people. Think of Facebook as like a little circle, right, in a fishing pond. If you go to the northwest part of the pond, you might get all the carp. If you go to the southeast, you might get all the trout if your pond is big enough, which Facebook is, right? You want to use the right bait, in this case, the right ad, to catch the right pond and be in the right location. That's why you need to do this research so you can understand all the prospective ways that people will buy from you and cater specifically to them. Keep in mind when you're starting, you can just focus on the most profitable ones because you'll probably be able to fill yourself up just with that for home service business, but it's a good thing to keep in mind, right? And then once you do that, you want to expand the amount of boats you have in the water, right? And the amount of bait you have in the water. So the amount of videos, the amount of ad spend, right? And as you keep going up and scaling, and when you do this profitably, you're gonna be good to go. And the last thing is, this is probably the most overlooked step, is remarketing to them. Think of it from a buyer's perspective. When's the last time you just bought something without knowing everything about it first? Well, okay, with the exception of super low ticket stuff, great. If it's high ticket though, the more expensive it is, the more premium it is, the more questions and the more of a process you will have to buy it. So if they're submitting their info, you best believe they have either done research beforehand or they're doing research, right? And if they're doing research, they need to do the research with you. Like, what if they don't do it with you? Here's what's gonna happen. If they don't do it with you, they do it with someone else. If someone else shows them the research and why they're better than you, they're gonna go with them, right? You can't lose out on a customer just because you didn't have something in place. And this is why you need to create content, right? You can create blogs, you can create before after posts of customers, reviews, you can shift beliefs they have. You need to show why you're better to solve the problem and why you might not be the option to solve their problem where you push them away. This plays into psychology and creates trust. It's the law of familiarity, and it kind of shows that you don't necessarily need them, right? An easy way to format this is you want to come up with common questions, and you can use GPT for this to kind of come up with 200, 300 questions, answer FAQs. That's what I'm doing here. You can show social proof, and you want to be omnipresent. The hardest one is being omnipresent. To be seen everywhere, you can do retargeting ads on Facebook and Google for super low costs. You need to set up email nurturing, you can set up SMS, you can set up calls, you can set up like in-person events or something like that. We actually help with all of this during our 20-day test run, where we actually test out the potential of your market and build out this entire funnel step by step for you. If you want to do that, click the link below after the video is done. But you got to keep in mind that it's going to take them on average 7 to 13 touch points for them to even remember and associate who your business is. And the key thing is, when people are buying, you need to get the touch points in as fast and as often as possible without losing their interest. And that's why you got to be personal when you're doing it. You cater to what they want and you make good content, they are going to know, like, and trust you even more, right? The only other thing I want to add with this is just when you're actually going through, at the end of the day, like, the simple things you got to remember is you got to stand out, you got to help Facebook help you, and that means basically having your ads align and show Facebook who you want to get in front of, reaffirming it to Facebook with the conversion API, making content that makes people want to buy from you, whether it's in the ads or just in general, and being as personal as possible. If you do those things, you really can't fail when you're doing home service marketing, right? Especially because it's one of the less competitive industries out there, right? You are advertising locally for the most part, or in separate locations, or you're advertising against people who don't put in a lot of time and efforts into this. You can get away with just doing one of these tips and you can absolutely crush it. So keep that in mind. If you implement everything, you'll be unstoppable and create a huge moat. If you want to see any other topics from us, leave a comment, leave a like, and just drop us a follow if you like.